Zia Youssef right now, head of Doge at Reform UK. And Zia, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike.
Good to talk to you. I mean, this story is just a small portion of some of the scandal surrounding the migrant crisis right now in this country, which seems to go from bad to worse. We've got, a story every day. I usually call it Migrant of the Day. Today there's an Algerian recidivist criminal who's committed all sorts of assault crimes. He's committed robberies, he's committed thefts. He's a persistent criminal. Says he can't be sent back to Algeria because he's a trans gay man and he will be made fun of. It's just ridiculous, isn't it?
Well, these are all abominable stories. And sadly, Mike, I think we're all getting quite desensitized to them. Any one of these stories should be front page news, should be a source of great shame for the cronies that occupy the Palace of Westminster. And yet now we see these so many times. In fact, frankly, half the time, people are seeing their parody. I sometimes talk to friends. Have you heard about this one? I genuinely thought that was a joke.
Yeah.
I genuinely thought about the Kenyan convicted rapist, multiple convicted rapist, who was not deported because a judge said he might have a tough time back in Kenya due to his alcoholism. People thought that was a joke.
Yeah.
But sadly, the joke currently is on the British people. They're the butt of the joke because we have awful politicians. I mean, that case you just exemplified, that was a deportation that should have happened in 2018. 2018, 7 years on, he remains on the shores. And remember, it was the Tories in power then. And look, you can blame judges all you want. I've got a strong view on this. We can talk about activist judges, but I put blame squarely on the people who make the laws.
Yeah.
Because if you make the laws correctly, then even the most activist judge in the world, I mean, the law should be immune to even the most activist judge in the world, because in the end it would have to be appealed and it would get done. We have to leave the European Convention on Human Rights. How, that still has not happened. One of the reasons is because half the so-called Conservative Party are Lib Dems that would never countenance it. So that's never going to happen under the Tories. Labour are in love with it. They love the idea of ceding sovereign territories, ceding sovereign judicial decision making. They love all of that stuff. They love the idea of foreign courts telling us what to do. Just exactly, they were willing to basically take the words a rubbish and largely pointless verdict from an international court in order to cede our territory, sovereign territory in Chagos, and lease it back for the cost of £30 billion. And ultimately, not only do we need to leave the ECHR, Mike, and we've done quite a lot of work on this now already, even that's not going to be enough, actually. We're going to need, the only reason a lot of these judges point to the ECHR is because it's the lowest hanging fruit, which they pluck to keep people here. There's also these international treaties, which a reform government will disapply specific provisions within those international treaties, like the 1951 Refugees Treaty, etc. Treaties that sound great, but frankly, from a totally